Hey guys, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another night of Flesh and Blood. Tonight's stream was pretty impromptu. I wasn't really expecting to stream this weekend, but honestly, my whole week kind of got turned upside down within the last few hours. Not in like a bad way. It just filled up with a lot of plans, so I won't be streaming this week. But I wanted to try and get a stream in. I'm really trying to get back into the swing of streaming 2 or 3 times a week, and so I'm gonna stream next weekend. I'm actually gonna be streaming Magic next weekend, as crazy as that feels to say. I qualified for the Mana Trader series, and so I'm gonna be playing in that on Saturday. Hopefully be playing in top 8 on Sunday, but we'll see what happens. So tonight, I am excited to play Bravo. I really like Bravo. I really like the hero. Like, I really like the way that he plays. It's block effectively and, throw my cards when I have them to try and take tempo. And I just really like Bravo as a whole. The way he plays. I'm hoping that he has a potential to be good enough to play in Baltimore. Probably not. Bravo's not been performing that well. I know that Kel McCreath had a good run in Auckland with him, but, not many people have really been performing with Bravo. So I want to give myself the best shot that I can to win in, to win, to do well at Baltimore. So if that's Bravo, great. If that's not Bravo, then it's not Bravo. That's just kind of how it is. So let's see. Yeah, this is Bravo. Gonna be honest, I don't really know how this matchup goes. I know that I don't need any of this stuff, and I don't think I really need any of the defense reactions here. I think I just want to be putting on as much pressure as possible. Like, I think we're just trying to run Homeboy over here. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. A lot of people are playing Riptide. I have played against a lot of Riptide. I have not seen a lot of Azuri, and I have not seen any of the... I have not played against the new Arachne one time in Constructed at all. So, I don't know. Everybody really seems to be playing Riptide and really trying to make him work. The funny part is, and I saw a meme about this earlier, is that, Riptide isn't a very, naturally defensive hero. This is a lot of interesting stuff. What is this? As -1. Okay, so good with the bad, and then toxic tips. Okay. Let's see. Create a frailty token. So we'll just go ahead and block 5 here. I don't know if they're trying to play attack reactions or what they're up to here. But Riptide doesn't seem like a very naturally good defensive hero, honestly. Just doesn't seem like it blocks that well. Hey, what's up? I'm about to rotate into Bravo after Icelander goes LL. Seems pretty fun. I played a lot of Icelander, and I love Icelander, but Icelander has got a lot of LL points very quickly, so it's cool that you're also looking at some of the same heroes. It intrigues me to hear that other people are kind of looking at the same things. I don't know that Bravo is honestly the best choice for CC right now, and I say that as someone who really wants Bravo to work, but I don't know how it's going to look, honestly. I think you're a little favored into the Icelander matchup, but I'm not sure. I have been told that he is the better Guardian, but I also don't. That's just what podcasts that I listen to say, so I don't really know, honestly. I think Bravo's hero ability definitely gives me some value. I think Bravo's hero ability definitely gives me some value with for the fact that they're playing a lot of traps in their hand. Create an inertia token. So we're gonna block this. Guess we want to keep the Macho Grande in our deck. So we're going to activate Tectonic Plating and then throw Command and Conquer. They don't have an arsenal, but this was the best 2-card hand that we could come up with. It might have been better to put Command and Conquer back into our deck, or to block with Command and Conquer and then swing Hammer for 6. I like the idea of playing the Command and Conquer here just because of the value it has. Create a Frailty token, so everything comes in for 1 less. So I'm going to take 5 to attack for 4 and then hammer for 5. Or Frailty token just says weapons, so this would be for 5 and then this would be for 5. And I could make a Seismic Surge and then arsenal the Command and Conquer here. Yeah, I think it's worth taking 5 here. Yeah, it's just from Arsenal. Yeah. Plus, putting all these blues in the bottom, we're setting up a we're setting up to be able to play our Macho Grande second cycle if it comes to that. I'm not really sure that we'll get there, but I actually bought all the cards I was missing for Kel McCreath's Bravo list from Auckland the other day. I wanted to have all of the cards. I had Tectonic Plating and Crater Fist and like the Crown of Providence. I had a lot of the expensive stuff, but I figured that I don't even know what this thing does. When this defends and the attacking hero is played or activated an attack reaction. Okay, so this just blocks 3. So they take 2. We'll go Grande Quake. When this chain link resolves, it is defended by a card from hand. So this is just a 0 for 3. All right, well, we'll just take 3 here. Do you have multiple decks for this in paper? Yeah, I've got. I don't know how many decks I've got put together, but I've got a few decks put together. Even with the Seismic Surge that popped. I don't think I have a way to do it. So I can go Zealous Belting into Command and Conquer, even though they have no arsenal. Here, and then arsenal the Crippling Crush, but I can't make a Seismic Surge. I mean, I think that's fine. Like, that seems okay. How is the cost for a deck? I know it's generally skewed towards older special versions, but I've also heard that decks are usually heavy costed on 1 to 2 cards, and the rest is pretty cheap. So that's a pretty accurate description of costs for this game. At least in my opinion, is that the cost for the game comes in the equipment. Like, your equipment is where all of this is at. Like Crippling Crush, this is a Majestic, which is like a Mythic, basically. Oh, excuse me. This is like one of the best cards in Bravo's deck, and I think it's like $1 or $1.25. This is like $130. I think this is like $30 or $40. I think this is like $15 or $20. Like, your equipment is where they get all their value from. Like, that's where like all the that's like where all the money comes from. So they have no equipment block left. So we can throw the Crippling Crush for 11, which they can probably just block. And then man, if the Spinal Crush was in my arsenal, I'd be in a better spot here. So we'll throw hammer for 6, and if they block, then we'll pummel it. I don't know. This seems like a decent spot here. Are they one-ofs? Like, is the game singleton? No. So the equipment pieces are singleton. You only have one of them that you can play in each deck. The headpiece here, it's a generic. A lot of the generic cards overlap, but like some of these do not. Like the tectonic plating here, it's a guardian thing. Like, and so it's like guardians are like the different hero classes basically. But like the cards within your deck are not singletons. So we're gonna go blue, blue, red because we just put because we just put a crippling crush on the bottom turn before that. Honestly, all this kind of feels bad. Like they're all 6s. They don't really attack for a lot here. Play the choke slam. I guess we'll pitch the buckling blow. I guess we'd rather have the buckling blow than our deck than the crush the weak here. The crush the weak effect is not really going to be relevant, at least from what I can tell here. So yeah, I mean, Bryson, if you ever wanted to like get into it and like learn it or anything, I've pretty much got 2 to 4 decks together at all times, like that you could play. Some of the cards overlap a little bit, but I mean, okay. Yeah, I was like, I've got multiple decks together pretty much at all times that you could play if you wanted to. What does this say? 13 power. So we're going to need to arsenal that one. Let's say your next arrow gets +4. If it has an aim counter, it gains red cards have -1 while defending this. That's interesting. It costs 1 less to play and gets -1. So I get an inertia token. Part of me wants to put the pummel on the bottom here with the Crown of Providence so that I have it for second cycle if I need it. And then I have a 5-card hand. Because I can go blue, tear asunder, and then blue hammer for 7 dominate. And then whatever my last card is just bad. My last card probably allows me to be able to play Rouse the Ancients. So I pitch a blue. Well, I have to pitch the tear asunder more than likely. Huh. You know what? I'm just going to take 6 here, take the inertia token, and then I'm going to... We get to play tear asunder, choke slam, Anothos, 7 dominate, and I get to have the pummel here. That peace of mind's not going to save you, brother. I'm intrigued to see that their name is Yuno. So I get to push through 4 damage here. and get rid of their cards. Huh. Can't gain attack. So this costs 3. So this pays for this, which means I can Bravo and make a thing. And then I can Arsenal this. Or I could go get Showtime. So if I get Showtime, I'm pitching these cards, which means I could get a blue to pitch for Hammer and then Arsenal the Chokeslam and then try to have like a pretty good turn. But I kind of want to put my Rouse the Ancients in the Arsenal because I want to have a go again turn next time. So yeah, this costs 3. So we're going to go Tectonic Plating. We're going to go Bravo. And then we're going to go Chokeslam. We're just going to come in for 8 Dominate here. I'm kind of just using Bravo's ability to try and put as much pressure on my opponent as I can. A lot of their traps, they like honestly, like pretty much all of their traps just block for 3. And so since they all just block for 3 and they'll have a lot of them in hand, a lot of our crush effects will hit. This crush effect isn't really relevant. With greater power than its base, put a 1/1 counter on equipment. Alright, so I mean, they're going to take 2 here, but like, none of their traps are relevant. The fun thing about Riptide, and I was kind of talking about this at the beginning of the stream, is that it honestly kind of feels like Riptide's ability isn't that good. Or like not that his ability isn't that good, but all of his traps block for 3. So it's like he doesn't like innately block well or really have like these insane turns or anything. Any number of attack action cards. So I pitch this, play this, reveal these 2, come in with Zealous Belting, make a Seismic Surge, and then I get the Hammer, so I get to have an insanely good turn. I don't think I even care about the Pox token. I mean, I'm basically just agreeing to take 7 here, is all that's happening. This is 6 and 7, and it's 13. Rouse the Ancients gets +7 and go again. Then I'll throw the Zealous Belting. Okay. So I have to say the Peace of Mind card is actually kind of cool in my opinion. The Peace of Mind, or is that what it's called? Is that what this card's called? Yeah, Peace of Mind is actually a pretty cool card in my opinion. Like, it's a 2 for 4, which is not good. But I do like... I honestly, what does it do? Hit effects don't trigger this chain link. Okay, I don't care about that. Card will be pretty good against Fi. 7 and 12 is 13, and 6 is 19. 19-point turn from the Guardian deck. Okay. So that costs 4, so there's no way to make that happen. I could just Terrace under Hammer here, and then Arsenal the Disable. Or I could make a Surge, disable Arsenal the Terrace under. I think that's better. The 1 resource isn't threatening, not with only 1 card in hand. What does Inertia do? Sorry, I just saw that. Let's see if we can scroll back up and see it here. No, we can't see it. So the Inertia token says that at the beginning... yes, I will pay 1. The Inertia token says that at the beginning of your end step, all cards in your hand and your arsenal go to the bottom of your deck. So it basically just prevents you from having an arsenal. Okay, this is insane. We're about to throw a Thunderquake for 9 with Dominate. Oh, I should have made a Surge. I got ahead of myself and I wasn't thinking. That's a mistake. We'll chalk that up as a punt. We'll call it calculated on the not taking damage. I'd like to tell you that that's what it was, but it wasn't. Okay, the old triple red hand, huh? So I'm going to throw 3 and Arsenal the Pulverize here. I don't think I need to heave it. I just need to get kind of lucky. Also, I don't have to keep this card. I can like if my hand doesn't permit me to play it, I can just like crown it to the bottom. So this is for 9, makes a Pox token. Two, 4, 6, 9. We're gonna put the Pulverize on the bottom. Pummel's a good card to Arsenal here. Actually, I'm just gonna try and get him and Arsenal the. Actually, am I gonna try and get him? I'm not going to try and get him here, and I'll tell you why. Because the Pummel does not allow me to make the hammer 10 regardless. It is only for 8. So this is just an insanely good turn. We're going to go ahead and make a Seismic Surge because it's the correct thing to do. I want to make sure that I'm not doing something dumb. Playing around anything that I can. That's mostly my mistakes at this point in the game. It's 14-2. I'm not going to do anything because I don't have to. What does this one do? I'm going to pay 1 here. All right, well, I don't get a Blood Rot. I don't get a Pox token here because I haven't done anything. I mean, I guess I should have just said pass and like let them take 2. Like, would have been the correct thing to do here because I'm putting it on my opponent to actually force them to do something here. All right. Well, that game felt pretty good. I truly have no idea what this matchup is like. I think I want to go second, though. Do I want sinks? Like, am I trying to block effectively? I feel like I probably am. I don't really feel like I want unmovables or the sigils or the buckle here, but I probably want sinks. What am I cutting for sinks? Red choke slams are really good here. I know that. Yeah, I don't know. Let's just run it like this without the sinks and see what happens. Being able to keep the Pulverize would be pretty big. Because pretty much no matter what my hand is, if I have 3 blues, well, not no matter what my hand is, but let me rephrase. If I have 3 blues and a and a pulverize, then I can just like pretty much do it all. Yeah, I mean, let's just take nothing here. I was like, if my man wants to pop Snapdragon Scalers here, then like that's fine. So we get to throw 6 here. My opponent is like very inclined to take 6 because 6 is not. This isn't like we're not threatening on hit. Wow. Okay. Now the sink below makes sense. The grasp does not. They can get blown out by a lot of things here. Let's go Thunderquake. Chokeslam. So the fun thing is that I can activate Bravo here. Yeah, you know what? Honestly, that's fine. There is no on-hit effect here. This is just 7. They can make it 9 if they want. I'm going to go to 31, and then I'm going to... Yeah, that's fine. So I go to 31 here. My Seismic Surges are active. This costs 6. So I'm going to make a Seismic Surge, activate Bravo, and then come in for 14 Dominate here. This is insane. This is such a good turn, and I get to Arsenal the Crippling Crush with another Seismic Surge up. So another triple blue hand, and I'm really able to just like keep throwing haymakers here. Now, Bravo feels great into these aggro decks when you are throwing these haymakers. The problem at some point turns into, when am I not throwing haymakers? Like, what does the rest of my turn look like? Like how bad does my turn look if I'm not throwing haymakers? So, like, this is a great example of like not that good of a hand. Now I could crown and put the Command and Conquer on the bottom if I wanted. I guess I'd be putting the Spinal Crush on the bottom. I mean, if you're gonna do some stuff like that, then I'm just gonna say who cares. This is gonna cost 6. You know what? I'm just gonna say no blocks. I don't think. Oh, they're gonna use their Snapdragons. Okay. I mean, Autumn's Touch is revealed. I mean, that's fine. I'll take 4 here. And then I'm just going to throw 8. Wait, whoa. Oh, no, it's a blowout. Okay, I wasn't even thinking about the Seismic Surge not being active. It doesn't let my Chokeslam cost any less. And I honestly was not considering that. I probably would have blocked 9 and thrown Hammer for 4. Instead, I blocked, which would have been 13. But instead, I blocked 6, and now I'm throwing Hammer for 6, which is 12. So I gave up a point right there. That is not good. Now, I do have a Seismic Surge. So right now I could make a Surge, activate Bravo, and Crippling Crush them. Or I have the option of blocking 3, throwing the Crippling Crush, and then Command and Conquer in the arsenal. I think that's fine. I think I'm going to take 4 here. I think taking 4 here is fine. I want to save my equipment block for as long as I can. In my opinion, anyway, I want to, because my equipment will really allow me to block effectively later in the game. You're not quite there, buddy. You need 2 more points. That blocks for 2. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll go rouse and then that. Let's see if they throw their last card. Oh, they do. Interesting. So it now makes my Command & Conquer Pummel line a little bit worse, in my opinion. I think we're just going to block 4 here. Honestly. So I might just go to 18 here, because if they pick draw a card, like, I honestly don't care what they pick here. So they just chose to let that be a 0 for 4. Let's throw Chokeslam for 8. Have I seen a pummel yet? I've seen 2 blue ones, but I have not seen a red one yet. Part of me wonders if it's better to dominate that or not there. Maybe it's better to make a Seismic Surge and then just let my opponent do whatever they're going to do. Okay, well, the fact that that happened is really good for me. They're just going to pass an Arsenal. Well, this is not a very good hand. With Crush, gets +2. I mean, I could make Cranial Crush for 10. I'd have 5 resources left per. Activate Bravo. And then come in for 8. Where they can't draw cards. It just doesn't seem worth to me. I mean, they do have an Arsenal card here, so it's got to be worth something to them. And they don't have an embodiment, which means their blocking isn't normally as free. It's not as free as it would be. I would have loved to have seen a pummel right there. Sheesh. Eight. Put the Macho Grande on the bottom. I mean, that's something, I suppose. They probably won't keep an Arsenal here, but this is what you want to keep your equipment for. It's for a hand like this. Oh. I mean, they're just going to go to 5 here. So I can block with a Spinal Crush both pieces of my equipment, and I still get to have a 11-point swing. Autumn's Touch, Surge, Sink Below, Gloomveil. They're taking Swarming Gloomveil, and then I take an Arcane here. I don't know, this doesn't feel great. Autumn's Touch was not a good choice unless they needed a blue. Like, knowing that they probably won't have Go again, I could just keep that. And, like, arsenal it, but I think I would rather just play it safe. I get to stay at 13. I have an 8-point lead, and I'm throwing my best attack. They also don't have an embodiment to block with, which does change a lot for me. Even if they throw another 2-piecer up there, I mean, they're probably just going to block with their whole hand. Like, that's probably where they're at right now. Yeah, so they go to 3 and just pass here. Ooh, they throw a Snatch, which is interesting. So I like blocking with Zealous Belting because I'll have 1 left. I guess I could do that and throw Hammer and give them an arsenal here. So I can have a 11-point turn, give them an arsenal. I can block 2, and I have no arsenal with that play. I can block 2, 3, 4, and I can throw 6 and have I have a Seismic Surge and I have a Pummel and arsenal. Probably better to put the Zealous Belting in my arsenal, honestly. The Pummel's cool, but the Zealous Belting is just, like, way more damage efficient. I think this is the line of play we want to take here. I do get to throw 6, so there's a decent chance. Well, let me rephrase. Unless they have a Sink Below, we're going to get 2 cards out of their hand, which feels pretty solid. They do have a Sink Below. They're going to go to 1, keep their hand, and hope it's good enough. And then this hand is what I would like to call extra medium. I'm going to take 4. I guess I can block with a Disable if I want to. Come in with Zealous Belting by pitching Macho Grande and then have the Pummel off of pitching a Zealous Belting. So I can block 3 points here. I take 4, go to 5. So the fun thing about playing Zealous Belting like this is that they're probably thinking, oh, Zealous into Hammer, that's obnoxious. I have to block this and then I have to block 6 more. Now, with an embodiment, that's not an impossible ask of them, but having the red Pummel here is just a really good, like, back-to-back here. Plus, if we do go to second cycle, there is a Spinal Crush setup with... There's a Spinal Crush setup with a Pummel, a red Pummel on the bottom. So, like, we were pitch stacking pretty well that game. That's one thing that I really like about Bravo from a personal perspective is that I feel like pitch stacking is moderately simple. It's not too complicated. All right, well, 2-0 on the old Bravo deck. Obviously, Kel McCreath was onto something. I've never played this matchup. They can do Frostbites and some other things. I also feel like this is a pretty good Sink below matchup, but I also feel like so was the last one, but we just played offense better than they did, and it just made us better. So let's see. Chokeslam is really a sideboard card. Chokeslam's not bad in this matchup either because Voltaire does allow them to gain power. Maybe I'm supposed to just not play Sink Belows here. Like maybe Sink Below is like strictly a Phi and strictly a I would say Briar, but I didn't do that last game either. Yeah, I don't know. We're just going to leave it like this and see what happens. I'm definitely not saying that this is correct, but I do really like the idea of... I really like the idea of just trying to push damage here and try to like really put my opponent on the back foot, and I feel like Bravo's not bad at doing that. Quiver of Abyssal Depths. Destroy this, shuffle up to 3 arrows with different names from your graveyard into your deck. Honestly, I'd kind of like to throw so I can pitch Crippling Crush to Tectonic Plating, pitch Imposing Visage to Anothos, and then heave a Pulverize. Or I can just throw a Crippling Crush. I don't know. Maybe I'm supposed to set up and try to play the longer game here with the Pulverize, but I think throwing Crippling Crush at my opponent on like the first turn of the game is like insanely good. There's just a lot of value there. Plus, the more arrows I pull out of my opponent's deck, the better for me. Obviously, they're playing all the Infecting Shots here. Interesting. So what? It's a 1 for 5 with the potential to have... it's a 1 for 5 with an odd hit. Doing this strips 3 cards out of their hand, which allows me to... let's see... Which allows me to try and have a big tempo swing back. So I can go Choke Slam with Pummel here. I go to 36 to do that, and I think that's fine. I'm not really arsenaling, which is something that Bravo likes to do, but I do think that I'm just playing like a hard tempo game to start the game. I think that I can try to play a slower, more value-based game later in the game. But I think if my hands are aggressive and I have the tempo hands, I think I should be throwing my tempo hands at my opponent. Is there anybody in the chat that's debating going to Richmond? I asked that because it's been in the back of my mind, and I am debating how badly I want practice before Baltimore. Because the way my week's set up, it'd be quite a crazy trip to try and do something like that. But I think I'm just gonna do this here. I don't get the effect, but I do get their last card. I think getting their last card's kind of cool. Okay, that's fine. We push through a point of damage and we have the same effect, basically. Again, we're just getting these tempo plays. Yeah, so the weekend of Richmond is like the weekend of April 15th or 16th or something like that. And Nate Bargatze is going to be here. Nate Bargatze is going to be here on that Friday, and Carly and I bought tickets because we think it's hilarious, and we're going to go see him. And now I'm debating, is it worth it for me to just turn around and drive? Like, go to Nate Bargatze, get out of there like 9 or 10 o'clock, and then turn around and drive to Richmond, which is like a 5-hour drive that night. And I just keep going back and forth going, is that worth it? Is that worth it? It's a lot of travel for cards. I haven't really heard from anybody on the team to see if they're going. It would be a lot easier for me if I knew that somebody on the team was going. So if I block with Buckling Blow here, well, this doesn't matter. They have a card in their arsenal. Blocking this is irrelevant. This just says 0 for 3 because they have a card in their arsenal. And it says if they have no cards in their arsenal. Okay, so they're going to play Infecting Shot for 5 go again. So block 5, block 5. So I'd block blue equipment, throw hammer for 4, arsenal the red pummel. I think that's a good line of play. I could be a little bit more aggressive here with the blue chokeslam and the red pummel, but it honestly feels like a pretty mediocre play as a whole. It just doesn't feel like a great play. When you have a face-up card in your arsenal, you have an additional arsenal zone. Okay, that's what I thought it said. I just wanted to make sure. You gonna throw the other one at me there, boss? Yeah, so this is what we had played around already. We take nothing. Seismic Surge goes off. I'm just going to throw this for 4. They're probably just going to go to 23. Excuse me. The cool thing about this line is that we're still putting on pressure without really giving up anything. So they show Electrify, which means the next thing has to go again. The next time an attack action hits a hero this turn, it deals 3 damage to them, and it replaced itself. So this is obnoxious. This is for 5. Block Chokeslam. I'm going to put the pummel on the bottom. Draw a 5th card here. That's tough. Be a heck of a time to be playing Oldham. Have a little Earth React right there. The fact that Endless Arrow goes back to his hand is so obnoxious. I hate Endless Arrow. That's like one of those cards that I would ban for no other reason than I hate it. For literally no other reason than I hate it. Oh, man. He pitched a Rain Razor, so we're quite a ways away from another Rain Razors. So I can block 6 here, throw the hammer, arsenal the Zealous Belting. Man, if he has another Rain Razors, then blowout. That's tough. So I can block 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think it's worth going to 21. Giving up a point of block. I mean, I could stay at 28 here and keep nothing. I get to keep everything that way. Well, I actually can't keep anything here. It wouldn't matter because this has piercing 1. Yeah, so I should just take 7 here. They're just going to kill my Crater Fist, more than likely, because they can actually get rid of the Crater Fist, which very rarely will you ever actually use Crater Fist, but wow, interesting. It's like very rarely will you ever actually use the Crater Fist for anything other than blocking here. I'm very surprised they didn't kill it. I would have, like, I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. It just seems way better to get rid of that than it does the Iron Rot legs. I don't know. That's interesting to me. Anybody know why they might have done that? I'm curious. Like, I get that the Iron Rot legs, like, now blocks for 0, but there is, like, the slim, like, 1% chance here that I can actually use this. Let's block this and see what happens. Okay, that's fine. I mean, now this just says 5 now, like. So make a surge. Zealous Belting 5 go again, and then I'm going to throw the hammer, and then I have Spinal Crush in my arsenal. The cool thing about the surge here is that Spinal Crush costs 4, so if I do draw a pummel, I'm able to leverage that. If I don't draw a pummel, I'm able to leverage Bravo's ability to come in for 9 dominate. They have 5 cards in hand, and they're going to have Tunic up. I imagine if their hand is good, they're more likely to keep this here, to keep their hand and just take 6. But going to 8 against Guardian is scary. Destroy this quiver, shuffle up to 3 arrows with different names from your graveyard into your deck. Okay, so this legendary basically just stops Rangers from getting fatigued, or it helps with them getting fatigued. I don't want to say stops because, I mean, you never know, but. So I can block 6 here, essentially, and then I can still have Bravo Spinal Crush, which is pretty cool. If this hits, I lose a life. What 2 cards? I think I'd rather. Well, I take that back. I think I want to block with the Disable and the Showtime. Like, this is fine. I'm okay taking 3, 6 here. I take 6. Go to 10, and I get a Blood Rot Pox token. Okay, that's fine. I still get to throw a Dominated Spinal Crush, which is very good. Which means they're going to throw a card. I mean, I guess they can throw a 3 block and then New Horizon and Spring Tunic here. Block 6, have a card in their hand. Or have 3 cards in their hand. Yeah. No. The fact that they have a Lightning Press on the turn that they're going to. Oh, he used Lexi. I wasn't even thinking about the fact that him using Lexi is his action. So I know that he has the lightning press here. The fun thing is that if I can block with Zealous Belting and get out of this turn alive, I might be able to just get my opponent with the whole pummel trick. Or I can just throw a whole bunch of points at my opponent with Zealous Belting and that, and then Arsenal the pummel. I have to say I wasn't ready for that. I get to throw one more point this way, and I'm taking away the surprise factor of killing my opponent on this turn, but I think that having the Arsenal is better. Now, granted, I understand that I could have just had... Well, this just killed him here. They're taking 2. Let's just go for the win right here. I mean, I was like, if they don't respect this, this also just kills them. Guardian good. Guardian good. Well, I'm 3-0 so far, which is honestly a better record than I thought I would have to this point. I might have to throw the old Bravo deck in my favorites here. Maybe Bravo's in a lot better spot than it seems like. Now, granted, I say that from a position of it kind of felt like my Briar player didn't really understand what was going on. I guess I'll go second. I don't know. Like, it feels like I want tempo here. I haven't really changed anything so far. I'm just going to leave it alone and see what happens another round. Like, probably not correct to be doing this. I should probably be boarding in like the Sink Belows, but right now I'm really kind of adapted the mentality that Roger Bodie said. Roger Bodie is part of the M&R podcast if you listen to like any of the Flesh and Blood podcasts or anything, but he made the comment on their episode about most overrated cards was Sink Below was one of the most overrated cards in the game. And it was an interesting take. I'd never heard that before, and so I was really curious. And when he started like kind of talking about that and diving in depth to it a little bit, he was referring to how people just slam it in every deck and play it in every matchup because it's like you never know when you'll need it. And I was like, huh, that's interesting. And so I've kind of just stopped doing that as often because it seemed like I noticed I was doing that. I was jamming it into every matchup I could. So I'm just going to throw 9 Dominate here. There was some thought process to maybe keeping the Thunderquake and throwing it, but I don't think so. This is a weird turn. So I can have 2 floating attack for 6 and then heave the Pulverize because I'll have 2 resources left. Does anybody know if it works that way? Do you have...
Paul is going to go ahead and let Chain Whirler stay exiled, and then he's going to...
Sorry, I was watching Magic earlier, and obviously that came through there. I'll have to ask and see if that works that way later. I don't want to get blown out by that because I'm not sure how that works right now. So I'm just going to wait. They obviously want to keep their hand. You know what? I'm just going to throw the hammer for 6 here, put the pulverize into my arsenal, and if it doesn't work out to where I have 3 blues, then it doesn't work out. Okay, well, immediately testing my resolve. Oh, man. So, Crown of Providence is going to have a pretty good block here. Choke Slam's probably going to be a pretty good block. This looks like it's coming in for a lot. Yeah, this looks like it's coming in for a lot. 10 dominate, so I can go 2, 4, 6, 7, 10. 11 because of piercing. So let's go Crown of Providence. I should probably check and see what all it does on hit. It appears not that much. Now I'm just going to throw this. We'll put the pulverize on the bottom. Good lord. I guess I'm going to pitch the Zealous Belting for tectonic plating, because if I pitch the blue choke slam, then I'll just be stuck with the red go again in my hand again. Judge? Yeah, I know. Dude, honestly, I have to say, like, it's kind of funny. Oh, their on hit effect. I wasn't even thinking. That sucks. I just discarded that because I'm a putz. But I honestly, it's kind of refreshing listening to people yell and scream Judge, like when you're at events now, because it felt like there was so long when we couldn't play at paper events that it's kind of nice to be able to like hear all the funny nonsense stuff that people do now. So I can block Showtime, and then I have Zealous Belting, Seismic Surge into Hammer. Or I could take 7 and Arsenal to rouse the Ancients and try to have a pretty hefty go again, turn again. I mean, I don't really care to take 7. They're probably going to attack again just because of their Tunic counter. No. I mean, whatever, dude. There was no way to turn on the rouse the Ancients there, so... I must have missed something. What was the card that I pitched? Oh, I pitched Showtime. Oh, I'm such a schmuck. I was supposed to pitch the Buckling Blow. Ah! Well, we'll throw another one on there, because that's a punteroonie. That was terrible, Zach. Terrible. Oh, that was stupid. And this hand can't even play the Rouse the Ancients. So this looks like block with Pummel and then throw Hammer for 10. What does that card say? Is this just a 3, 6, 8, 10, 12? Block all of it? No, let's take 4. We'll block 8 and throw 4 here. Instead of blocking for 2 more points, I'm going to attack for 4, which turns it takes my hand from 10 points to 12 points, which is just better value. They're probably also not very likely to block the hammer here. So I can reveal, yeah, so I can pitch Terra Sunder to reveal those 2, and then I can hammer. So Pitch Terrace Under, reveal these. Pitch one of these, which means I can only block with one card here. So I'm going to block with a Buckling Blow because I would rather have the Thunderquake and the Macho Grande in my deck here. Some MFer angle shot me with a Judge in my first REL event. So now I have some PTSD every time someone yells Judge. So you're not the only person that's happened to. Like, I hate that happened to you, and that's ridiculous. And I hate when people try to like rules lawyer people or like angle shoot them. I hate that kind of stuff. But when someone yells for Judge, it makes a lot of people very nervous. Like, you're not by yourself on that one, dude. They're like, it makes a lot of people nervous. I'm 1 point away from being able to block all of it. Whoa. Just gonna block 8 here. Like, a lot of people get very nervous when a Judge is called. Like, and I don't blame them, because some people are very, like, they call judges for bad reasons and to rule shark people and stuff like that. And I hate that kind of stuff. And you hate to see it, because it's like, these card games, like, I get it. It's competitive. We're there to win. Like, and I am like number one on that list of people who is there to compete. And I am not there to be your friend. Like, I am, like, I say that. I want to be friends with everybody I play against, but it's like, I am there to compete first and foremost. And, you know, like I get that, but yeah, Judge calls have a lot of like negative connotation with them, and I hate that, because judges are supposed to be there to make you feel better about the game and to make you feel better about what you're doing and what you're playing against and just all that kind of stuff. So it's tough to watch and see that kind of stuff and see how people are. So I can block with all of my equipment, cover this up so that they can't have another action. Or no, I guess it has go again. They can activate Death Dealer. So let this be mediocre, please. All right, so this doesn't have an aim counter, so this is just 5 damage. And now I'm just going to throw my Crippling Crush here. Just throwing my vanilla 11 here. I mean, I say vanilla. Like, there's no dominate attached to it, so it's vanilla. But just throwing my, like, 11 points here is really good. My opponent gets to keep 1 card in their arsenal, and I get to have a lot of damage here. Again, this is another hand that just doesn't cut it. So I can block with the Showtime. Let's make sure we're not running out of Showtimes. Now, we pitched one earlier when I played myself. The next Assassin or Ranger attack action card you play has, when this hits a hero, they lose 5 life. So this is for 9. So this would put me to 9. So I can prevent 3, take 6. Wrong thing. Play Terrace Under. Hammer for 7. So if they don't have a defense reaction here, they can still block 7. This was legit at the BP. BP. What's BP? He didn't cut my deck after 30 seconds, then claimed I didn't present it. This was match 1, game 1 of my first event when I had Titan Shift. Yeah, see, dude, people are miserable. Like, I hate when people do that kind of stuff. It's so obnoxious to me that people even try to pull that kind of crap. Like, you have to be a pretty bad person, in my opinion, to even do that to somebody, especially over something like what you just said. Like, that is ridiculous. So, yeah, 9 resources. I'm just going to throw the Crippling Crush with Dominate here and win the game. God, Crippling Crush is such a good card. Crippling Crush is insane. Like, there's a reason it's a specialization. Like, it costs 7, it attacks for 11, and it has, if it deals 4 or more damage, your opponent discards 2 cards at random. At random. All right, I tried to say GG, man. Like, and I get it. Like, some people like they say and stuff like that after the game, and I don't know. It just feels weird to me. Like, I feel like even when I'm getting slaughtered, I always tell people like good game and just things of that nature. I don't know. It's just it's very within who I am. The only time I won't be that way is with it's like somebody I know, and I'm like, dude, you pummeled me. Like, that wasn't even fun, you know, or something like that. That's just kind of who I am. I don't know, like, Aziri blocks well and throws cards well, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. Like, I'm just gonna leave my main deck the same, and I'm just gonna try to run him over. Like, I don't think we want. So, like, looking at this, Buckle is clearly a Guardian matchup card. Like, it looks like it beats the crap out of, like, having Buckle beats up on like you can try to give like Rampart a -1 or something like that, and then do that. Remembrance is like for honestly, I don't even know what he wants the Remembrance for. I can only assume Oldhim of some variety. Sigil of Solace is probably for like Icelander, and honestly the Sink Belows and the Immovables feel like they're just for Guardian. And we open Pulverize a lot. Like, a lot. Not that that's a bad thing. I'm not complaining. Oh, that's cool. Oh, this guy's on the Card Advantage team. Oh, that's cool. That's Tyler Broughton. He's out in South Carolina. I've seen him at some of the events they play out there. He's a pretty cool guy. So, the fun thing about this hand, like, if I don't have to block here, which I'm going to, but if I didn't, this would be really cool. I want to try and keep the Imposing Visage if I can, because I can pitch 2 blues, get Imposing Visage, and then I can go get a blue off. So, you pitch 2 blues to play Imposing Visage, go get Showtime, you go get a blue, you heave your Pulverize. I'm going to block 6 here. I'm not having any room for shenanigans on turn 0. You want to put like a 6 in, that's fine. Oh, they put a 7 in. Ah, it's a blowout. I take a damage. What? All right, well. So I can throw Bravo, or I can throw Zealous Belting. I don't know. I feel like the only play I have here is to make a Surge and then heave the Pulverize. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe that's not my best line of play. So if I keep everything, I can go Terra Sunder into Pulverize. Bro, that's wild. That would be a wild line if I actually got to do this. Now, the problem with this is that they can just like throw a 0 for 3 and then a Command and Conquer, and then it's like, oh, my Pulverize. You know, like it's tough. It's tough if they're going to activate Azuri. See? And I can't even block with this. This is such a blowout. And it's like I needed them not to have Command and Conquer right there. 1, 2, 3. Pitch this to play this. Pitch this to hammer. There's no way to pummel this turn, but I am going to arsenal the blue pummel here. The crazy bad part about that whole exchange for me is that I did block effectively because it was turn 0, but I basically took a turn off to set up pulverize, then just to get blown out by Command and Conquer. Now, they're Azuri. They're playing 3 Command and Conquers, but they did see one on the second or in their second hand, which again is not crazy unlikely, but it's a higher percentage than a lower percentage that they don't see it on the second hand of the game. So especially considering, well, no, I guess they Spider's Bite, and then they threw a card and Azuri'd me, which means they had 1 card left in their arsenal that they arsenaled. So they saw 8 cards. Oh. I could have thrown the disable here for 7 if I wanted to, and then pummeled, because disable would have cost 1, which means I could have pitched a blue, made a surge, and then came in, and then I could have pitched another blue, pummeled, and then arsenaled the Terrace Under. That's also not a bad play. I get a card out of their arsenal, but I do like the idea of getting 2 cards out of their hand here. So we got a shakedown and spreading play. Create X blood. Create X pox tokens under the defending hero's control, where X is the number of cards they're defending with on this chain link. So I'm going to take 1 here. So this is, again, it's just a 0 for 4. So I'm just going to threaten the pummel here and see what they do, because with the 2 resources left over, they know that there's a pretty decent chance that I could have had they know that I could have activated Bravo here. So by throwing this and holding up 2 resources really sends a strong signal. If they block 12 or 11 here, if they block with almost all their cards or with all of their cards, I mean, I think this is worth using it here. Get rid of their last card. So this is a pretty solid hand here, because I guess I could have thrown the Crush the Weak here, but they could have just thrown 2 pieces of equipment. I could have Bravo on Crush the Weak wouldn't have done anything. I mean, red Crush the Weak is not a bad card because it's a 3 for 7, which means that the problem is that Sink Below covers it up, and it's where red Crush the Weak is good. A lot of the decks you'll play against are also running Sink Below against you. So red Crush the Weak is really good against Fi. Okay, so we still have 2 resources floating, so it does work the way we want it to, which is nice to know. So I'm just going to take 1 here. I'm not going to give them the chance to Command and Conquer me again. It's not happening. So they have to have an attack reaction, a 0 for 3 in their arsenal, and a Command and Conquer here to blow me out. That's a very specific line of cards. Now, I mean, if they do have all of that, then okay. So this is just a 2 for 6. That's it. So I'm just going to go to 17 here, and I'm just going to dominate Pulverize. Because it costs 6. I'm going to make an extra one. Activate Bravo. Getting to hit with the Pulverize here is very good, especially this late in the game. Their only blocking piece of equipment, well, I mean, they have 2 blocking pieces of equipment, but they're both Blade Break, so it's not like they can't just block for free here. Take 11, and then your next thing, the first, I mean, if they're going to Azuri, the -4 isn't super relevant here. Oh. I do apologize, opponent. I was not thinking there, and that's just a snap block on me by me there. 3 dominate. I'm gonna throw the same card that I have here. I just took 1. All right, so there's a second red pummel. I don't know why there's a blue pummel. Oh, they banished one off of one of their contract cards. So that's 2 red pummels, which means there's a blue pummel and a red pummel. I don't remember pitching one. Not going to say I haven't, but I don't remember it. I mean, if they block 7, they take 2. Like, that's fine with me, honestly. Spinal Crush and Crippling Crush, like, are just these cards that, like, they just demand to be blocked. And again, like, maybe I'm crazy or maybe I'm not thinking about the metagame the right way, but honestly, it just feels like, why are we not playing? Like, why are we not playing? Like, why are more people not playing Bravo? And up to 1 card in their arsenal. You know what? Oh, man. Good attack by my opponent. Honestly, great attack by my opponent. Yeah. Give them 2 cards. Disable an Imposing Visage. So I take 4, they get 2 cards. What are the requirements for Leave No Witnesses? And opponent's red cards. That's hilarious. They haven't created a single piece of silver this game. I mean, when you can dominate Crippling Crush, you dominate Crippling Crush. Like that's just all I can say about playing Bravo from my experience. Now, all I have to say, I have played about 10 games on Bravo, and 4 of them have come from tonight. Take 8, go to 3, discard 2 cards. Cool. Let's come in for 8 dominate here. Like, I don't think they can stop this. I have a sink below. Because if they have 5 block, they're still dead. They take 3 and die. Bravo throwing as many cards as it does every turn, like, also is really good because it just, like, I don't know, like, you kind of start to fatigue your opponent slowly but surely. Like, oh no, they left. All right, well, anyway, I was gonna see if my opponent knew Tyler. I've met Tyler at a few events, and he's a really nice guy. He's honestly like super fun to talk to, and like just kind of like shoot the breeze with. I think he like has his own store, and I think he like runs the team card advantage, which is what the sleeves were. So Katsu blocks pretty well. It, like, if I've played against anything that felt like a sink below matchup, it was this one. Cut chokeslam. I don't know. They play a lot of. I don't know. They play a lot of things that gain power, so chokeslam probably doesn't really feel like it. I don't know. We haven't put anything in. We've just been running our main like deck of cards go burr. So maybe that's just what we continue to do here. Make a seismic surge. And then we'll heave the pulverize. So again, the cool thing here is that I get to just activate plating, dominate a pulverize. Now, my opponent does have like full grip here, and they are playing ninja, which means we are required to block pretty frequently. But if I am able to dominate the pulverize here, I will, because it's a ton of damage. Actually, you know, it's probably not even worth dominating, but I do want to be able to keep the chokeslam in my arsenal. They Kodachi me and pass. Well, I mean, if you're going to give me the option to dominate this, then I'm going to. Like, in what world am I not going to dominate a pulverize here? Like, block him with a razor, huh? Roger that. Now, Kadachi does kind of like play around the whole block line here. I think blocking like this is fine because I can go make a seismic surge, choke slam, pummel. Okay. This has been a weird game. I don't really know what my opponent's doing. Like, the Surging Strike has go again, so they just chose to not do anything. They're probably very, like, combo-oriented here, so the fact that they're, like, keeping the Surging Strikes, you want to use your Sink Below? Like, you only save 2 damage with your Sink Below, and your keep there was pretty medium. So I throw Spinal Crush here for 9. Get at least 2 cards out of their hand, more than likely, unless this is like a 3 block or a 2. It could even be a 2 block, and that's a Sink Below. I don't really want to activate Bravo here. I think I'm better off making a Seismic Surge, coming in with the Spinal Crush, and then just like having Crippling Crush in my arsenal. Or maybe I'm just supposed to throw the Crippling Crush there. Like, maybe the Crippling Crush presents more damage. I mean, let me rephrase. It definitely presents more damage. Maybe it presents a better turn. Like a worse blocking situation for them. Okay, so I mean, this is just 5. Like, it's not threatening anything. Throw Crippling Crush, Arsenal Crippling Crush. Like, when I blocked with a Crippling Crush there, they had to realize that that was bad for them. We'll go Terra Sunder, then Buckling Blow. I can go Zealous Belting and Crippling Crush here. Or is it better just to dominate Crippling Crush? This honestly feels insane. Maybe I'm 5-0 right now because I'm running insanely hot tonight. Like, that is a very strong possibility. Oh, he had it. Oh, he had to pitch 2 cards. Oh, dude, get wrecked. I mean, you just like use 2 cards not to take that. And I still have a pretty solid setup for this coming turn. So we're definitely going to... crap. So I have no way to get this go again. So am I just throwing the Spinal Crush here for 9? I honestly think I am. Like, that's such a... feels weird line of play, but I think this is the best line of play that I have. Like, I'm going to throw 9 points of damage, and I'm going to put 3 cards back into my deck. When you have tempo like this with Bravo, you start to fatigue decks. This is kind of how... So my last couple of streams, I've talked about how I feel like Dash is not in a great position against against Oldham right now. And what you're seeing is exactly why I feel the way that I feel. So Kadachi for one. Kadachi for one. I can go Zealous Hammer. Pulverize is a good card to have. So we're going to block 5 like this. It's like, hopefully they don't have the push it over by 1. I can't remember what that's called off the top of my head. The Ancestral Empowerment. So this does not have go again, but I am going to throw 5. And then I'm going to heave this. And again, the Kadachi kind of breaks the value here, but this is still just a 14-point, like, card. Like, this card just still is 14 points, and I just think that's really good. My opponent takes 1. I'm going to heave this. We're going to go Terrace Under, then Pummel. Oh, man. This is the turn I'm committing to give them Mask. Unless I can block with 3. Like, I might throw the Crater Fist. I mean, I have to take this. Like, my hand is just too good to block. Like, being able to pummel the Pulverize is insane. Like, we might just be able to kill them. Yeah, I mean, this gives them 2 cards here. And again, like, I just don't care at all. Like, they might make me regret that. My opponent might do something crazy here. They are playing, like, the Flick Flacks and stuff, trying to turtle up here a little bit. Yeah, so this doesn't even have go again. I take 5 and go to 14. It's honestly probably better to activate to just dominate with Bravo here. And then Arsenal the Pummel. Yeah, I'd rather pummel him. I think that sounds like more fun. I was like, if you don't have a defense reaction here, you're just dead, bruh. I mean, wow. So they're going to take 4 here and go to 13. All right, so we'll come in for 7 and go again. Now, the fact that they had Unmovable and Flick Flax, I think, like, so if I had just dominated there and put the Pummel in my arsenal, I would have been able to pummel this. Which would have been pretty good there. Their Fluster Fist blocking for 5 off of the Flick Flack is really good. I have a 6-point lead currently. Having a Command and Conquer Pummel is really good. They're just doing +2. Yeah, I'm just gonna save my equipment block. This isn't like when I play against Briar or Viserai, where I have to be worried about the arcane damage and what I'm stopping. Blowout. Right now, my opponent's debating, should I block more? You should have. If it was me, I would have thrown the breaking scales in another 3-point block, probably. But oh, I didn't realize that cost one less because of the seismic surge that I made last turn. Definitely should have been paying attention to that. And when I'm playing in person, there'll be a lot less of that because I will have the I'll have the seismic surge sitting in front of me. I was like, I don't know if they have a defense reaction, but I would rather them think about the pummel that I have than actually play the pummel. So I can take 3 here. And then Surge, Command and Conquer Pummel again. Just so good. The value. Value Town. Works for me. Absolutely no reason for me to do anything here. So this will cost 4. I just basically have to make sure that I don't die here. Because I do go to 2. Interesting. Activate Bravo, make a Surge, have 2 floating. So I'm coming in for 9 Dominate here, and I have a Pummel to put me over the top. And more than likely, they're just dead. Like, they're probably just dead to this, honestly. There's no way they can beat the Pummel, though, and they realize it here. I mean, I have no reason to do anything. Huh. Kind of thought we'd get them there. They're turtling up very well. Like, I have to say, it's kind of impressive, honestly. So we can pitch this for belting and then hammer. And I'll make a surge here after this. We are requiring most of their cards here. Like, I think I'm going to take all of their cards here. If not, I think I'm going to take at least 3. Come in for 6. So if their next thing is +2, which means if a card from their hand blocks for, they can go to 1, and then they can like throw a 0 for 4 or Kodachi me here. They can only Kodachi 1 time. So I can make a surge, activate Bravo, dominate this, and then kill them. That's just wrong. We should block with Buckling Blow. Yep, because that's going to cost 3. Dominate. This should win me the game here. All right. Woo. Not going to lie. I did not think I was going to get there for a minute. The way that Katsu turtle up at the end of the game was pretty frightening. So I want to really take this moment to talk about why this game was a perfect example of why I don't think Dash has a good Bravo or Olda matchup anymore. 10 cards left in the deck. 10 cards and I had 33. Now granted, I understand it's 1 to -7 here. Dash runs out of cards even faster because they don't put on as much pressure when they're playing the control package. So I don't know, like I could be wrong, but it kind of feels like a fluke if you want the truth that Dash won Auckland. Now I'm not trying to take anything away from Sam Sutherland or any of those guys that put Dash in the top 8 of that calling, because it's a very impressive run and I think they did, and I think they played very well. I watched their games, but I just don't think Dash is where it needs to be right now. I didn't get to play against it once tonight, but I just don't think it's in the spot it needs to be in right now. So I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong though. Could very well be. 6-0 on Bravo tonight was not the result I was expecting. Not at all the result I was expecting. But I don't know. I had a lot of fun tonight. The deck felt really solid. We played pretty well. There was at least 2 or 3 times I made mistakes tonight. Mistakes are one part of the game, and 2, they come less with the more you play decks. So Bravo's still pretty new to me overall as a hero. So, but anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I appreciate you guys stopping by and hanging out, keeping me company. It means a lot. I will not be back this week, but I will be back this weekend. I will actually be streaming Magic this weekend for the first time in I cannot remember how long. I qualified for the Mana Trader series. I was talking to some of my buddies about playing in it, and I did just for fun because Mono Red's pretty solid in Standard right now. But I am gonna go. I'm gonna stream the Mana Trader series this weekend. Swiss is on Saturday. I'm gonna be playing Mono Red because it's like the only deck I know. But hopefully I can top 8 and play on Sunday too, so we'll see what happens. If you want to test this week or whenever, let me know. Yeah, man, that sounds good. I mean, I'm definitely down to get some games in. I've just played like 10 games with the deck, like in total, and it was those 10 games that I used to qualify. I went like 7-3 and qualified. So yeah, we'll try to find a time this week to get some testing in. Off the top of my head, I truly have no idea when that'll be, but I will text you and we'll try to figure something out. So let's see if there's anybody streaming that I can raid. Anybody playing Flesh and Blood? No, it feels like it's always just me playing Flesh and Blood. So anyway, all right, that's it tonight, guys. Thanks for coming by, and I will see you guys this weekend. Take it easy, guys.